Welcome to this special edition of Surviving the Shitstorm. This is me in conversation, Kieran the Boy Bailey, with Tim Foster from Yummy Pubs. Tim is the head of Awesome at Yummy Pubs, and you know what? I'm saying yes to that. That seems like a win for me, because everything I've watched, everything I've seen on social media over the last 2 weeks tells me that the way that they have managed this challenge, this crisis, is absolutely awesome. We have a really honest conversation about the way that the team have come together to come through this, the way that the business partners have come together to come through this, and wow, it blew me away. I know you're going to enjoy this one. I know that you will. So thanks very much to our partners, Tahola, HGEM and Vita Mojo. Without you guys, this isn't possible, and we really appreciate it. But just sit back and enjoy this conversation. It will inspire you. It will motivate you, because if one man with a team around him who just want to do better and will do better and will come out of this fighting, if he can do that, you can do that.
Tim Foster, head of being Awesome at Yummy Pub Co, my company, so I'm allowed to create the job title. Used to be head of foresight, but that clearly in the last number of weeks is a job title I shouldn't and could ever hold down. So head of being awesome is good enough. And we have 4 sites. Used to be 6 until a few weeks ago, thank God, because if I still had them right now, it would be a very different smiley face on here. Probably wouldn't be too many smiles, to be fair. But I think what we've currently got with the 4, we can fight our way through what's currently happening. And I am currently sitting in our first ever site that we purchased a lease on 12 years ago, and then managed to get the freehold last year, which is proving to be a saving grace in what is happening. And yeah, it seems to be, although it was an incredibly difficult position we were in last year, because we were dealing with a fire from one of our other sites, we pushed ourselves really hard to do it. Got over the line, and I think had we not done that, then it would be quite different right here, right now. And some of the stories that are currently coming out from some people I respect massively, and how they're having to try and adapt is A, terrifying, but B, high respect for a massive amount of the guys out there. It is a stressful time. So yes, that is me.
Wicked. So, I mean, there's a lot of people out there facing some real challenges. They'll get around it. But I reckon probably the first time I really probably became aware of you guys and what you're all about, me being a bit of a northern boy, was around the time of the fire at Somerstown. I guess it seems weird to say, but that potentially kind of set you up for success for dealing with this situation right now, I guess, to be fair.
Oh, dude, if you wanted any opportunity to deal with crisis management, then that was one of them. Yeah, I think I'm a bit of a battler. I've fought my way through life, I think, is probably the easiest way of saying it. So I'm a grafter, always have been. And my dad had a business in one of the last recessions as an auctioneer. He put his head in the sand and lost everything and didn't fight for it. So whenever anything bad happens, we try and do 3 things that are great. And the fire, I was on a train on a Friday night after getting a call from one of my team who had travelled down for the night, 8 o'clock on a Friday, saying the pub's on fire. And I simply sent the message back, going, fantastic. How are the guys coping? Is it all great? And she then popped up on her FaceTime going, no, it's actually on fire.
Genuinely. I'm not talking about the roof being on fire. I'm saying that it's going down.
See all the smoke, like a bomb's just gone off. That's your pub. I was like, okay. So yeah, in a taxi, on a train within less than 12 minutes from home, which is normally a good 30-minute journey, and got down to see the fire brigade doing an incredible job controlling it. But the phone calls that I made on the train on the way down, given it was on BBC News, it closed Euston train station. We trended above Beyonce on Twitter. I genuinely think it's gone. And then got down there, and we were handed back the building by the police and the fire brigade at 6:15 on Saturday morning. Anthony and I sat outside the pub all night on a couple of broken chairs from outside, and then we started calling everybody and saying, right, the pub needs to open today. And to be fair, it's the Charles Wells building. Peter Wells came down. He was heading over to France. He came along, and I said, "Pete, we're opening this afternoon." He said, "No, Tim, we need to have a conversation. We're not going to be open." I said, "Come on, Pete, we can open. Look, the roof's gone, but the pub's still here. We can trade it." And then Roger Bell, who's their property director, came about 2 hours later, just looked at me. We have quite a good relationship with all of the team there. And he looked at me and just said, "Please don't say it." And I said, "Come on, Rog, let's do it. Let's open it." I was like, "Mate, there's no hope in hell we are opening this venue." I said, "Yes, we can, Roger. Come on, look, I bought 2 hard hats. Before I legged it down on the train, I ran to the shed and I picked up my hard hats that were used for chainsawing, brought them down, Anthony. I literally just sat in hard hats going, we'll literally give out hard hats to everybody." So I bought 100 hard hats. Was the first thing I did on the Saturday after we went in, looking at it completely covered in timber and smoke and water and God knows what else. And Anthony just said, "What the hell are you doing?" I said, "I'm buying a hard hat, mate, because I don't trust insurance companies. We know that we shouldn't trust insurance companies. This isn't going to open if we go to everybody else's timescale, and they're going to put us in the ground. So we are the masters of our own destiny in this, and let's drive it forward." And he just like, "Okay, yeah, let's do it then." So literally every day somebody would come along, and the insurance assessors, and I'll go, "Right, can I open it today, please?" No, we're not going to get it open. How about tomorrow? Let's open it tomorrow. So I just kept giving everybody new dates. We got it open in 23 days. We had a hard hat party. We allowed everybody to have a Sharpie and write on the hard hats. And the insurance didn't pay out for a further 24 months.
Wow.
With the site of Somerstown, that is over £1 million in takings. So we literally would have been put into the ground had we not traded it. So we traded it with scaffolding, we traded it with workmen, we traded it with every part of our being, really. So yeah, did that prepare us? Yeah, I thought, I posted quite recently that was the most horrific time of my business life, and I couldn't see it getting any worse. And then boom, 14 days ago, it all started to go a bit crazy.
There's always something else around the corner, isn't there?
Always. Yeah, and I don't think not a single person in the planet could have predicted what was coming with this. But you're right, the tenaciousness is there. As soon as we started to look at our numbers really and see our numbers dropping down, we then started having what we call Python crisis calls. So government have got Cobra, we've got Python. And we started having daily calls between us, started coming up with a whole load of plans. Every time that we did something and we spent all night working on it, the next day we were told that we couldn't do part of it. So we've just adapted and evolved like mad. And we're sitting here today with a grocery business running from a pub. And Joe and I are, we're just sort of looking at each other really. Definitely tiredness and fatigue. We did the app live yesterday afternoon. 27 orders just flooded in, 290 eggs. I said, "Joe, dude, we have to stop." And he was like, no, this is great. The orders are coming in. I went, no, we haven't got 290 eggs. We got 240. It's like, oh, right, quick. So we pressed stop for collection today. But ultimately, we've got 29 collections happening today. And we managed to get some more eggs in this morning, and we're learning as we're going, really. We had a great day the day before with collections with the neighbours. We've got to know the neighbours better than ever, which has been one upside, without a doubt. Some lovely people going for some walks, etc. And we have a grocery business, and then hopefully that moves at pace into delivering the meals to the vulnerable and the isolated, which we've already started kind of ad hoc. We need to put a bit more meat on the bone and do it properly so that we're not scaring people. And we're trying to work with a couple of agencies down here. So AGK have been amazing. We're getting some details to work with them. And there's a distribution company who are still currently live called Bluebird, who can help us actually deliver the meals. So, that side of it is for us to try and protect these people that are out there really and struggling. We're surrounded by multi-million-pound houses. This isn't an area. Our road is, if you want to drive down my lane, you're going to be driving past the house that's £1 million on the left, on the right, on the left, on the right, on the left, on the right. Mm-hmm. But drive up the road 2 miles, 3 miles, and you are still in pockets of huge deprived areas. So it's not us giving meals to millionaires because they're stuck inside. It's genuinely being able to give meals to people that haven't seen anybody for, in some cases, 7-8 weeks. They haven't seen a single individual. So not only will we deliver the meal, but we'll also be there to have a bit of a chat. I've put one of them in touch from Sunday with my mum. You thought I could talk the arse off a donkey, but my God, she can talk. So she's now got a new friend on WhatsApp, and they're chatting, having a lovely time, I think. So when this is all over, they can actually meet up in person. So I'm going to.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
you're not just delivering meals. You're not just delivering food. You're in fact delivering hope. That's what
totally. And keeping mum engaged as well. I think she can
Never
be the hotline. There's so many hours in the day that she will be prepared to do it. So yeah, we'll see how we get on. My aspiration is to take all of my guys off furlough. I don't want the government handout cash. It was a lifeline for us, and it's brilliant. But if I can build a sustainable business again before we get anywhere near taking the money from the government, and even if I can get 50% of the team off it, that's an aspiration for me. Because we're here. We've always been here to provide a service and be part of the community. And my guys will get incredibly bored incredibly quickly. Even telling them, look, I don't want you here tomorrow. Joe's like, come on, let's do it tomorrow. I was like, dude, this is a marathon. It's not a race. We've got to pace ourselves. We're knackered. I definitely begin to flag in the last couple of days and fell asleep this morning. He's like, yeah, but we've been flat at this for 2 weeks. We have not stopped. I was like, yeah, but the energy's there, the desire's there, the drive's there. So let's keep doing it.
So what is it that drives you to say, you know what, I want to get my team off furlough? Why is that so important to you?
Don't know. I don't know if it's a pride thing. I think it's more of I don't want them to have to be compensated and also missing out. They're not getting their full salaries, and some of my guys that we still haven't got clarity on when they've worked hours, haven't worked hours. A sensible approach for me would be to look at the same as holiday pay for hourly staff. So it would look back over 12 weeks. And some of the guys haven't really worked in that period of time. We're moving into ramping up our operations right here, right now in an ordinary world. It goes from having 8 or 9 of us operational down here with Joe and his team in the winter months to 35. So there's a massive swing with the team where we go into summer trading. And if I can get and protect them and give them an income that isn't reliant on a furlough, then that is massively important to me. I know that we can't allow them to work whilst they're on the furlough, so I prefer to get them off the furlough, have an operational business that is making a difference for communities and making a difference for people in these times, and then we fly back into full operation when we're allowed to open the doors.
It's the key of hospitality, isn't it? I think we certainly with pubs. I started out running pubs when I was a much younger man, and you're a heart of a community as part of that business. That's the simple fact of life. And people grow to expect it from you, and they get so much from it. Other than just, they're not coming to you for booze and food. They're coming to us for so much more than that. And when that gets taken away, it's incredibly difficult. And it's the same for our teams, I think, to be fair, because social lives, most people have met their partners, their boyfriends, their girlfriends within work environment. It gets stripped away, and that becomes really disconcerting. So I think it's amazing what you're trying to do with getting them back into work. So the grocery store thing, do you think you'll be able to kind of extend that beyond this one site? Do you think you'll be able to kind of take it into the London sites?
Yeah, definitely an option. Whilst we're seeing the success coming through, we have to be a bit careful with our supply chain down here. We've had relationships with our suppliers, Lee, Gav, and the team, and then Chris Major Butchers have been incredible. They're local, so the butchers we're literally a mile away. Gavin's in New Haven, so he's just over about 15 miles away. They're all now beginning to really feel the effects of the pubs having to close last week. I think they're in the shockwave number 3. So I think travel was shockwave number 1, hospitality number 2, now supply chain number 3, and you guys and all of the freelancers, you're feeling all of the pain into this week, and Gavin's got warehouses full of stock that there's no route to market for it to go to. So That's one kind of key thing. So can we sustain it into London? We don't know. We don't know if they can actually deliver to us. So they've gone from a fleet of, talking to the driver this morning, fleet of 44 down to a fleet of 13. But, the whole, don't worry, guys, we've got you back. We're in this together, which is fantastic. So undercomplicated it probably here. We're doing Deliveroo in the London sites, starting with the Vic on Monday. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do a burger concept. We think that that's still going to be key for the city. There's still going to be that food chain still needs to be there. You can't just suddenly chop off a huge food supply and then not replace it. And facilities wise, people don't have the same facilities in London flats as they do. They've gotten so used to being in a capital that's the best food capital in the world that they can choose food from anywhere. That most of them are probably looking at a cooker right now, going, "Jesus Christ, what do you do with it?
How does that happen?
How do you turn it on?" So
becomes a challenge.
That's the beginning of that operation. Anthony's leading in London, so we sort of split our time. He's been working incredibly hard this week with overdraft facilities, just the cash movement, and working on everything, and done a brilliant job with the memorandum on the mortgage here. So he's really focused on that, talking to all of our suppliers, literally picking the phone up and going, "Guys, we are going to do everything we can to make sure that money keeps on coming and we pay you. You might have to give us some help at some parts if you can. Please tell us if you can't." Derek, our gardener down here, Derek gets paid, full stop. But the British Gas, SSE, sorry guys, probably not going to pay you.
You go to the back of the queue.
Yeah. But the most important people within the supply chain. So we rang everybody on Monday, and we're like, look, we simply don't have the cash to clear down all of our debt and pay our team. We just don't. If the government were prepared to give us the money on Thursday to pay for Friday, then great, happy days, we can do it, but we can't. So who wants to work with us? And our response from the suppliers has been amazing, and they're under huge pressure, but still has been great. And I think they appreciated the phone calls going in. I think a lot of people hid away, dodged the phone call, kind of ignored the letter coming their way to say, "Hang on a minute, you owe us some money." So yeah, I think that personable approach is there. But yeah, we'll see. We're going to take it one step at a time. I think we're in this for the long haul. The guys were biting at the bit to get groceries live on Monday, and come on, let's go. I was like, this is new. We don't know what we're doing here. I know we've got supply. I know we've got all of the different things, but this is a whole new territory for us. So let's just walk slowly. Let's see what people want. Clearly, they want eggs. And let's take it one step at a time. So yeah, fresh fruit, fresh veg. I genuinely believe that kind of we're a week or so really into this now. People have habits of what they cook. We certainly do at home with Lucy and I. We have stable dishes that we cook throughout the week, and then we go out. So I think there's a great opportunity for us with the specials and the gastro to go stuff and the steak pies and all of the things, and we can again evolve, keep the guys really fresh, thinking on their feet, and driving some new dishes that can then make up our menus going forwards when we come out of this.
Well, that's the key of it, isn't it? It's a really good opportunity to do some actual live testing on your customers. Say, right, what do you love? What do you like? Put some stuff out there and get some clear pictures about what they're going to come in and pay the money for on site.
Yeah, and also for us, I worked at having the 6 sites and then trying to run the 6 sites operation. You naturally have to change your job, and you just do. And I've always been hugely hands-on. I love being hands-on in the pub. If it came down to it, really, truthfully, what should I do? Probably just run one bloody amazing pub. But we wanted to expand and we wanted to grow. So just after Christmas, I came back in working at Somerstown 3 days a week with the team there. Absolutely loved it. Getting back into the detail, not just looking at customers on social or on spreadsheets or, in their opinions, just genuinely talking to them and saying, what do you want us to do? What's important to you? And being here, talking to customers, we are keeping our distance, but I'm getting to know our customer base down here better than I've ever known it. Even when we came here and we started trading, and it was Anthony and Jason running this site for 2 years. The insights that I'm getting from our customers and just asking them why we're important to them and what do they want, and finding brand new customers who literally live around the corner, who walk past the pub every day, who have never been in here. And they're like, right, so what are you doing? Well, this is what we're doing. Oh, okay. Oh, great. I don't know why we don't use you. I don't know why you don't use us either.
Been here 12 years, mate. Get on it.
Yeah, we're here. We're amazing, Boozer. Come in. So, yeah, it gives us a real opportunity to reach out to that community again. And like I said, and have said all week, the team now can be trained because we have all of the online resources and the Yummy Academy all online, and what we're doing now, the massive explosion with people using video conferencing. We started doing the video conferencing about 18 months ago because we realised that kind of our guys were one team, but they were all in individual sites. So we started having we called it Clarity. Every Monday morning, all of the guys would dial in, head chefs and GMs, and we'd talk through the week, and learn from each other. And it was fantastic. So we really began to appreciate video conferencing. I think now the whole nation is going, wow, actually, this is quite cool. We can do something a bit different.
Exactly. It's a beautiful thing. And I think culturally, this is going to make a massive difference to the workplace in the UK going forward. My wife works for Volvo trucks, and they have a lot of people who are like, you've got to be inside, you've got to be on in the office. We need to be able to see you. That's a really weird way of working. My wife's so much more productive when she's working from home. She will get up at 7 a.m. and she is going until sort of 8, 9 at night, and she will just smash it out. Or she could lose 3 hours driving to Warwick from Nottingham. Absolutely insane, to be honest with you. I think it's going to make a massive difference to the kind of the culture of the business. And I think that idea you said of kind of switching to having weekly video calls as well, that's a really smooth and smart idea, because that's how you maintain that sense of team rather than a working group. Because when we're not connected, we're not kind of seeing each other, which is really key in hospitality, I think, on a regular basis. Then we do start to we have shared goals, and we're working towards this common idea. But we are a working group because we're separate in our own little silos. Pull it all together on a regular basis, and that sense of team really does get fostered. And when the shit starts to hit the fan is when that sense of team becomes so important. And everything you've described so far is obviously a symptom of the kind of the culture that you've built up to this point.
And just we wanted to be really open. Most of the videos that I've been posting out LinkedIn and stuff are videos I've been sending to the guys. Luckily Tim, Martin and I have decided to go a different tact in our video approach. I've put out the videos to the guys to show that our vulnerability, this is who we are. This is genuinely what we're trying to do for you. And I learned that going back into Somerstown. So many of the team were scared of me being there, and it took months for them to understand that I was there, and I didn't care if they wanted to lean on a bar. You've just smashed out $3,000 worth of sales in the last 2 hours. You're knackered. Piss off and go and have a break. And they're like, oh yeah, but crikey. I was like, no, I'm doing it. We're all human. I'm not stupid. I've been in this game for a long time. I know most of the tricks, and if you've got some new ones, please teach them to me. I'd love to learn them. The people and the cultural part is always been huge in Yummy. It's been a massive part of what we do, and it's been a key driver in who we are. And I've always said that we just have really big buildings that are a pain in the arse because they're bloody expensive to fix all the time, and ultimately the heart and soul of the business is the people inside of it, and that's customers and staff. So I think that's definitely come through in the last couple of weeks to the general public that maybe have forgotten that, maybe have forgotten who we are. Starving them of the pubs now maybe will make them really appreciate them when we come back. And just seeing some of the stories out there that some of the pubs are doing is incredible for their communities. And people will hopefully remember, just like the milkman, saw a brilliant interview at the beginning of the week where he was off, running around delivering the milk and stuff. And it was like 1,500 new customers in 24 hours. It's just mental. But for me, when we come out the other side, it's to remember it. Remember that guy went the extra mile so that you could have the milk for the kids and the cats and whatever else. and not then suddenly trade them off. And I genuinely think that the longer it stays, 12 weeks, 16 weeks, we don't know. But the longer it stays like that, the more people will genuinely appreciate one another and appreciate how lucky we are in this country to have everything we've got.
Yeah, I really think you're right. I think it's people, the sense of awareness of what the service industry does for Joe Public is absolutely right at the forefront of their thinking. And the longer it goes on, the better for us. And that sounds nuts to say right now, but the longer it goes on, the better for us, because it stays right at the heart of their consciousness. It stays right at the forefront of their thinking, and they start to have a little bit more respect for what we're about. This whole low-skilled, no-skilled tripe, really, I mean, it's just infuriating, if I'm honest with you. From a man who spent his life in this industry, you just think, come on. I left school with 5 GCSEs that were all a little bit shit, if I'm honest with you. My German was not great, but beyond that, and what I've been able to build on top of it through this industry, it's been wonderful, to be honest with you. So it's infuriating when people insult us like that.
Yeah, ditto, dude. I 13 years old. My schooling was not good, but I started the first ever tuck shop at Heathfield Community College by having 20 students working for me and 40 lockers. It took them a year to shut me down. I was making a mint. I was making an absolute fortune. It was brilliant. And then they shut us down. I got pink slips, whatever they call it. I got called into Mr. Robinson, and my headmaster, were the best of buds. We really were. And he was like, mate, I just need to say to you that education clearly isn't one of your priorities, he said, but I would love to watch what happens in life with you, because you've stood out quite slightly here. We all went off on school holidays, came back, and the school has started a bloody tuck shop. So, there's...
You've inspired.
Yeah, literally did me over completely. It was no good. I think the straw that broke the camel's back is when I started selling BB guns.
That might have been it.
They kind of just pushed it a little bit too far. My dad's auction galleries was down in Brighton, and I managed to blag one of the boys on the back streets of Brighton, because I used to just roam the streets of Brighton basically whilst they were doing the auction galleries. And I found a shop who would do a kind of a backhanded dodgy deal at the back for cash for BB guns, even though I was meant to be 18. And terrified the living daylights out of my French teacher when 3 guns fell out of my bag. School went into lockdown.
I imagine, yeah. Even back then, it would be like, "Whoa, now let's talk about that. Let's talk about that."
This isn't a great idea.
I genuinely think if my French teacher would have seen that, my overwhelming memory of my French teacher is when he said I was a facetious little cretin, and he was right. I'll be honest with you. I mean, he was absolutely on point. It went wrong really, because he said I reminded me of his son, and I was like, "Oh, hang on, I might be onto a win here." And he went, "I don't like my son." I was like, "Right, okay, wicked." Well,
losing battle.
Yeah, I might as well just go home now. So you've talked a bit about kind of Joe and Anthony. How has this whole situation kind of has it impacted your kind of relationship? What's it been like with you guys? Because you're kind of throwing everything in the kitchen sink right now.
Yeah, and like you say, with the fire, we got fatigue in the fire period where we were literally sick of one another come the end of it, I think. And we kind of, we had to get ourselves through it. We looked at it and said, do we actually want to carry on doing this as a team anymore? Do we want to do this together, or should we all go our separate ways? Because it put massive pressure on all of us. It showed our failings really quickly, that we were able to kind of blag quite a lot. You don't do something and you can blag it, and the boys won't pick you up on it, but we had to in the fire because everything was so tight. And so we got closer and closer and closer and closer together. There's 3 of us, me, Jason, and Anthony are the 3 owners. Joe's my GM down here, was one of my success managers in London when we had the sites. So Joe was brought in to just make the businesses more successful and with the GMs. And then when we went down to the 4 from 6, Joe came to us and said, look, I'd love to have a stab at the mill. Can I go and do it? And I was like, it means going back to being a GM again, dude. And he was like, yeah, but I genuinely think I can do something special down there. So can I have a go? So luckily, he's so happy that we're on day number 8, and he's got me 24/7 to be giving him the thing. So we're in lockdown together. And he got very, very strange the other day when I told him that 2 other people were coming. So, it slightly worried me. And went running off, putting on a wetsuit and saying he wanted to swim in the lake. So I thought, there's some withdrawal symptoms there. So yeah, Stockholm syndrome.
Quiet time to yourself, Joe.
Yeah, I'm literally away from the kids and my wife. She's asking questions daily, going, you and Joe seem to be getting quite close down there. But with Anthony and Jay, obviously we're in lockdown here so that we protect everybody, and we have no kind of risk of this thing spreading into this team and then outward spreading. So everything's remote with the boys. We're not seeing each other, which is a bit strange because we're quite used to seeing one another. But again, we're in it at the very infancy of what's happening. So we're all just splitting up the work really. And Anthony's doing the Deliveroo stuff with Matt in London, which is great. There's some breathing space for each of us. And like I said, this week, his skill is with cash flow forecasting. He's got the relationships with the banks. I'm just the guy that kind of is the front man joker, drive it forward and engage the team. He's the guy with the detail 90% of the time. Some of the detail needs a bit of help, but it always does. He sent a message last night saying, look, guys, fantastic result. I've got a memorandum on the mortgage for the mill for 6 months. HSBC have been amazing. And we managed to secure the overdraft because we didn't want to jump straight into borrowing on loans. So we didn't want to kind of be forced into having to jump down that route. We don't know any of the detail yet. We're very skeptical of borrowing money anyway. We always have been, even when we were borrowing the money here for the mortgage. The only reason we did it is because that we know ultimately if push comes to shove, then either Youngs or Fullers would give their right arm for this venue. And they've got the cash. So we kind of always had that as the back pocket, but signing that paperwork to borrow 1.4 million quid, all of us were shaking as we were kind of putting pen to paper. It's kind of almost like we had to grow up a bit, even though we've been doing this for 12 years anyway. So relationship wise is pretty solid, always has been. We have our ups and downs. We've been married couple, threesome for 12 years. Lucy, my wife, and Jenny, Stacey all know that we bicker and we bitch about each other, but ultimately we're a team, and we've got the same goals. So this will help with that as well. I think the cultural journey for us with the fire, we knew who in the business genuinely wanted to be part of us and genuinely cared for us, and we're there. So, but that also then put doubts in your head to go, well, actually, if they'd all do, what about the other 20? How did they manage to sneak in and kind of be part of this cultural journey, but they don't really, really care about us? So definitely challenged us along the route of what our culture was, why people come to work. Are we recruiting the right people? Have we got the right people in the business? Are we delivering for them? Because we definitely felt for 20 months that we weren't delivering for them, because we just couldn't. We just didn't have the time, and it wasn't that we didn't want to, didn't have the passion to do it, but every time we kind of let them down, we'd almost shrug it off and go, yeah, but we're trying to save the business. So whereas now, this time, I think it's about, everything is about them. We had the conversation on Monday last week and debated whether or not we could keep the team, and how many had to go because we couldn't afford into cash flow. And I said to the guys, I'm not prepared to throw our guys under the bus. I'm just not. I don't care if any of them. We're standing by them. We're going to go to government. We're going to go at government 100 miles an hour, and we're going to get a package because this just isn't right. And there wasn't no, I totally disagree with you, mate. It was a unanimous, yeah, okay, let's do this. We've got it, and we did that every day. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday was like, is it really? Is anything really going to happen? Are we just going to be hung out to dry? Is it coming? And then obviously all of the incredible work that Kate and Jonathan and Mark and everybody have been doing, just kept on sending messages going, please just stay firm. Just don't bow down, stay firm, stay the course. We know that it's difficult. We're asking our people to be on the front line of this. But if we had all just decided when Boris said, right, okay, nobody go to the pub, and we go, oh, all right, okay, well, that means we're closed then. Great. Yeah. There's no hope that they would have given us that package on Friday. Absolutely none. So Does it sit on their shoulders that they should have done it earlier? Yes. You know, as soon as he said that was it, he should have said, right, and we've done a support package that's unprecedented for people, but they are winging it every day. You know, they do not know what's coming. So, my hat's off to them. The workload that's coming into the government right now is absolutely insane, and trying to make it all work. So,
yeah, I mean, those civil servants who, not more than sort of 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, Dominic Cummings was kind of saying, yeah, do we really need these little army of drones to do this work? Like, yeah, we fucking do, mate, to be honest with you.
Totally. And we need more.
Yeah, let's get some more drones, please. No more drones, that's the answer. Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, the government, I'm brutal on the government on most situations. I'll be honest with you. There's no getting around it at all. I think we should be holding them to account in every way possible. But I'm going to give them some leeway at the moment. But there are some things that are going to need to be questioned that coming out the back of this. And I think that's the key, really. That there's a lot of folks walking around going, no, you've just got to forgive them some stuff. And it's like, no, I think we should forgive them now and make the best of what we've got. But down the track, then yes, we need to be asking some questions, because lots of businesses were just that feeling of wondering, is it going to come? Is it going to come? Is it going to come? I spoke to probably 4 or 5 different business owners in the sort of week running up to that, who were all, it was emotionally draining for them. It's just the physical effort that we're all so used to, just running around 100 miles an hour, working our asses off is one thing, but the emotional drain of actually kind of thinking, right, am I going to have to make this decision now where I'm going to let all these people go, and I'm going to have to look them in the eye and give them that. Some people didn't even choose to look them in the eye. I lost count of how many people said I got an email or a text message telling me, or a WhatsApp message. I'm like, that's just what? I mean, that's the thing that stays with people forever. The work that you guys are doing, that's the good stuff and the bad stuff, and that will stay. People will make decisions about employers of the future. I mean, you talk about Tim Martin, that fella's not done himself any favours at all.
Just some very bizarre decisions that were made in the last kind of 8, 9, 10 days, and still are being made. And there are things being taken out of context, and the stuff that's happened with Rick Stein and his son. I haven't really looked at it. I've just seen snippets of it, but the Daily Mail obviously got one end of the stick, and then the caterer have come in with another, and the pressure that's on those guys. 650 staff, that's massive. We've got 89, and Tim Martin 40,000. I get it.
That's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people. And is it a petitioning kind of approach? Is it more trying to put pressure on the government? You don't know these things until it comes out in the wash, do you? But you're right. Some of it can be incredibly damaging, and will be damaging going forward. I've got just so sick of hospitality people saying that they were there for their people, and then you'd look and go, yeah, but you're not. You really are not. You're shutting up shop and locking down the doors and bulkering in when you've got PE investment behind you of millions and millions of quid. So are you the guys making the decision? No, you're not. You're the owner-operators that started all of this. Mm-hmm. When I met Luke Johnson, and we were seriously considering, and he was seriously considering investing in us before he did the stuff with Draft House and things, and I looked at him in Somerstown and I just said, this isn't going to work. And he looked and he went, what do you mean? I said, you are going to kick me out of my own business within 3 months. This is going to be like being back at school. I love the opportunity. I'm flattered that we're having these conversations, but I can't work for a PE. When push comes to shove, you guys will make a decision at board level, and that'll be it. I'll be gone. So I get that there's a whole load of different pressures that go behind businesses as well. But yeah, out of the wash. Hopefully will come an incredibly trained army of hospitality people, professionals that have the opportunity right now to do training and be better trained than ever before. They will see the stories. They will listen to business owners telling their stories. My week last week was 3 nights straight back to back. I did not sleep from Monday through to Thursday, and I literally hit the wall. I just hit the wall on Thursday morning. I am great at innovating through things. I just can't see how I can sustain this without having any help. There's the grocery stuff. Will it work? Won't it? We don't know. We really don't know. But if Waitrose, Tesco's, and Sainsbury's and Ocado can run profitable, highly profitable businesses, and we've benchmarked our pricing. We're not making the same margin that they're making. Of course we're not. But if we can create something here that creates a sustainable business and pays for all of the bills, and I can rip the guys out of furlough, then I will, and there's an opportunity. And then going forward, when you come for a Sunday roast and we're actually able to operate, we pop the boot and put your week's groceries in the boot and off you go.
Would you see it as that being an opportunity that you would carry on to post this situation? Yeah,
absolutely. I've been trying to get groceries here for 5 years because we did do it when we first took over the Grove Ferry in Kent 10 years ago, because it was all Kent's Garden and stuff, but the footfall just isn't there. So we had all the carrots and everything out, great displays, eggs look brilliant, but it just kind of fell on its face really because people didn't understand it. Then, and I kind of wanted this cross-breed farm shoppy kind of concept for a very long time, and we can start telling people about the Lingfield sausages that are made by Hannah, etc., that we're selling in packs of 6s now that are 50p cheaper than what you can get a packet the same quality sausages for in Waitrose right now on our web shop. We sold 150 portions of the damn things. So why wouldn't you have them at home? Because you enjoy them in the pub. But we never had the tools. We didn't have the right facilities. Now we've got this web shop hopefully all working. So before you even come to us, or you make a booking online to book for lunch, then we'll send you a booking link back and you can buy your groceries. And
makes a lot of sense.
I think we can just diversify this business and have more strings to our bow.
Well, you think as well, if you take the average grocery person working in the grocery store isn't that passionate about the product they're selling. They're just there to sell product and fill the shelves and get it out. If you take the skill and the kind of the passion from hospitality people with the ability to kind of understand the product, understand the flavors, understand what it's going to do for you, how it's going to make you feel, and share that and sell that in, boom, that's just that. The crossover is just too easy. It just makes perfect sense, to be honest with you.
One of the main things I'm really excited about doing, which we're working on today, is the box of goodies with the recipe. I think it's an absolute winner for me. And we did lamb shanks, and we'd already braised off all the lamb shanks and done everything as if it was on our dish, and kind of put in all the sauce and things. So when everybody ordered mainly from the lane, we did a kind of test run that wasn't on the website. So we asked them to email and just send in messages if they wanted it. They took them away, and one lady came back. She just went, "That was incredible. I would never be able to do that at home." But because we don't have to produce it where it sits on a supermarket shelf for 14 days or 16 days, we don't have to put all of the stuff in it. We can do it. And if we can get to the point where we can do it to order, and they can place the order on a Thursday, and we can cook it off for collection on a Sunday, even better. It literally is fresh food to go then. So we can use all of the skills and the flavors and just make some incredible meals. So that's part of the thing that's really exciting me and actually exciting the boys. So I think we're going to have a bit of try and do a bit of a brainstorming session. Just I want them to lead it and want them to drive it really, and show me their skills and what they can do. I think that could be a real fantastic part of the offer, as well as having your veggies and pint of milk and Marge.
Yeah, without doubt. Well, I just think from a kind of relatively inside perspective, for me, this is a massive opportunity to reset the way that we work and the way that we operate. And I think there are clearly some people out there, you being a stunning example, the guys at Leon, the way they're operating right now. There are some really good examples of people saying, yes, this is an opportunity to change the way that we work, the way that we deliver, and what we deliver. Those people who are looking at it like that, you're the ones who are going to come out the other side absolutely swinging and getting ready to take on the rest of the world. I think you're the ones that are going to win out of this. And that makes me smile a lot, to be honest with you. I've thoroughly enjoyed watching the way you've shared on social media. It has been genuinely real. It's been authentic. I watched the video of you walking by the I think it was last Thursday, where you kind of you had a little breakdown. I was crying with you, man. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the thing. People want to feel that, and you've done a really good job of sharing that. So first, thank you for that. I've genuinely appreciated it, and I know there's a lot of people out there who have. And certainly from this little corner of Nottingham, I'm in your corner and hoping that this really delivers for you. I really am, because you've got the right attitude. Clearly, culturally, you're absolutely killing it. And it sounds like you're engaging your people in every single decision, and that's a beautiful thing. So for me, you're on to a win, mate. And if when we come out of this, anything I can do to ever help, then I am always going to be there, because I like good people, and it's nice to be able to see good people doing good things.
That's appreciated, mate. You can make me cry again. We'll keep sharing. We're going to keep on. I think I was nervous about, do I want to put it out there so everybody says I'm a hero? No, I don't need anybody to blow smoke up my arse. I'm putting it out there so hopefully people can be inspired by it and maybe just think, actually, and I've had a great email from a guy that's got 2 sites asking how he can get his hand on the app and do it for his local community there. So if that's what we've got to do, then albeit it's great. And we're here to help people. That is always what the heart and soul of the pub is. So we're here to make a difference, and it's going to be tough. I know the weather's changing into this weekend. People are going to be stuck more indoors now. Mental health challenges are going to escalate. We've got to understand, we've got to be there to look after each other. And if we come out of this being nicer to one another, then I think that's one of the biggest upsides for me.
Mate, thank you very much for your time. I've really appreciated it. I will keep on watching, and maybe kind of, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks, we'll have another conversation and see how you're going. See if Joe has managed to get you into the wetsuit.
I literally sent a picture to my wife saying I was going to put it on, and she just came back and just went, yeah, whatever. No chance, mate.
Hot dang. That was good, man. That conversation made me smile at so many different points. It was inspiring. It was just motivational. I just walked away feeling like I could go and take on the world. And if I'm feeling like that, then you should be feeling that. This is an opportunity to reset. It's an opportunity to do better. Yummy are taking that opportunity. Will you take that opportunity? Of course you will, because you're smart, intelligent people who recognise that we have this opportunity now. So hit the red reset button and say yes. What do we do differently? What do we do better? How do we evolve our business and our brand? It doesn't have to stay the same. It can move forward. This is the time to make that happen. Thanks very much for listening. I really appreciate it. It's an absolute pleasure to be able to bring these podcasts to you. Thank you to our partners, HGEM, Tahola and Vita Mojo, for helping us to make this happen. We're all in this together. That's the honest answer. We are all in this together.
We need more help, call the whole town. Now let's try and get this thing off the ground. All in together, let's gather round. We're gonna try and get this thing off the ground.